Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today I've got some big news for you regarding the Lucid Motors or CCIV expansion plans, both in terms of vehicle production numbers and international expansion. Today I'm going to be telling you how both of these will impact the stock price in the short term and the long term. There's also some new research on BNGO Sapphire system that's recently been released, and I'll be covering that as well, telling you about the research studies that have been performed, the findings from those research studies, and how that research will impact the stock price. So let's start out by talking about Lucid Motors. Obviously the merger with CCIV hasn't yet been confirmed, it's still currently in speculation. But Twitter and social media has been going absolutely mental on every single post that Lucid Motors make, demanding answers. But Lucid Motors seem to be replying to every single comment, other than merger queries. I guess they can't really answer any of these queries as negotiations are still ongoing. But considering they wanted to go public in April, time is running out. It's too late for them to do an IPO, and therefore a reverse merger via an SPAC must be on its way. But now onto their expansion plans. Lucid have recently brought in Peter Hochschildinger as their VP of Manufacturing, who was actually Tesla's VP of Production. Peter oversaw the ramp up in production of the Tesla Model 3. Now, the Model 3 was actually a bit of a production nightmare for Tesla. Elon has spoken about how Tesla almost went bankrupt multiple times while they were trying to ramp up the production of the Model 3 and was, at its worst, about 1 month away from bankruptcy. Now, Peter was obviously there alongside Elon trying to figure out how to ramp up that production, and therefore went through that hell with him and will have gained some valuable knowledge about that process. As a result, Lucid Motors are putting together a detailed plan of exactly how they can avoid that production nightmare. They've decided that they're not going to spend $1 billion up front and build a giant production facility that can manufacture 400,000 vehicles from the get-go. They've decided to build the facility in multiple different stages instead. The current facility is about 1 million square foot, and the total facility is expected to be about 5 million square foot. Therefore, they've probably only spent about $200 million on the construction of their production facility, meaning that they have all of that spare cash to actually pay for the vehicle parts and pay for all the staff costs. If you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking that red button down below to benefit from in-depth analysis on new, up-and-coming stocks, regular news updates on fast-moving stocks, and expose-style videos to help save you time and grow your stock portfolio. Also, be sure to check out the link to my Patreon, which is in the description as well, to become part of the team and discuss stocks before they start blowing up, like CCIV and BNGO. You'll also get access to my stock portfolio, which is updated daily, weekly live streams, one-to-one access, and much more. But for now, let's get back to the video. Now, I've also pieced together some really interesting potential international expansion plans. Obviously, Lucid Motors are based in the US and will expand domestically across the US first of all. They're also in talks with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, the firm that invested $1 billion with them, about building a new factory in Saudi Arabia. Lucid Motors are currently hiring for an EMEA Finance Manager. EMEA stands for Europe, Middle East and Africa. That obviously makes sense because they're going to build a factory in Saudi Arabia. So presumably the requirements for this job are going to be someone that probably speaks English and Arabic, and the job will be based in Saudi, correct? Well, actually, the job is based in Amsterdam. But why? Well, Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, right in the heart of Europe. Norway has the highest number of electric vehicles per person, and Norway isn't very far from the Netherlands. The UK, France and Germany also have a lot of potential and would be big EV customers, especially with all the green energy initiatives and tax credits going around at the moment, and therefore it looks like their next expansion plans after Saudi is going to be to expand into Europe. But the CEO of Lucid Motors has also announced that he wants to expand into China as well by 2025 or 2026, and therefore it looks like Lucid Motors have got their expansion plans fully set. I guess they really do have some properly prepared plans to prevent poor expansion. I think that if Lucid do merge with CCIV, then the stock could fly like crazy because of just how much attention they've been getting on social media platforms like Twitter. Kind of like a social arbitrage impact. I'll be sure to keep you all updated if there is any news of the merger. In terms of the CCIV stock price, we've seen the stock pull back from its highs of around $25 or $26 down to around $20, and then towards the end of the week it rose back up to around $23. Now I think $20 is a really good price point to pick up the stock, and the stock price has been cooling down a little bit because those merger rumours have kind of just been tailing off as there's been no announcement. I think if there is an announcement or an updated announcement on that merger, then obviously the CCIV stock is likely to just start spiralling up higher and higher. Obviously if Lucid Motors do announce an SPAC and it's not with CCIV, the stock probably would crash back to around $10 to $15 like it was beforehand. Obviously this is a speculative play, so don't invest more than you're willing to lose, especially at this point. If CCIV and Lucid Motors do merge, then I think Lucid Motors has a very, very promising future. If you want to pick up some shares in CCIV before any merger announcements, then be sure to sign up to free trade using my link down below to get a free share worth up to £200 when you invest a minimum of £1. Yep, that's right, you only have to invest £1 and you will get a free share worth up to £200. But for now, onto the research that's just been announced for BNGO. Obviously Bionan and Genomics have made not one, but two recent share issues. One for around $90 million and one for a whopping $230 million. BNGO have also just announced an update to its computing software, now switching to Microsoft Azure, making their diagnosis about 50% cheaper and 30% more efficient. So they now have a cheaper product that's more efficient and tons of cash to get that product out there. The money so far is being used to further their research. We knew beforehand that their Sapphire system could be used to analyse cancerous tumour genomes, such as breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer and lung cancer. But it's recently been discovered that the Sapphire system can also diagnose other forms of cancer, such as leukemia. It can also scan the genomes to figure out if there's duplicates or missing genomes that could lead to leukemia later in life. This is another $12 billion market that they can expand into, and this market's also growing pretty quickly with a compound annual growth rate of around 7%. It really seems like the BNGO Sapphire tool could be used for pretty much anything. Not just as a diagnosis tool for one or two rare diseases, but it can be used for pretty much any disease, any kind of cancer, COVID, and pretty much everything else because it analyses the underlying genomes. This gives BNGO pretty much unlimited growth potential. The BNGO Sapphire system is also a lot better than many of the other products currently on the market as well, as the BNGO Sapphire system can analyse a lot further down the chain of genomes than other systems can as well, picking up so many things that other systems can't even detect. I think that after this announcement, being that it can detect other forms of cancer such as leukemia, and after the release of some good Q1 earnings and some good Q4 earnings, that the stock could definitely hit my price target of around $15. I think they just need to continue releasing good news and to continue getting that Sapphire system out there across the world into the hands of so many different companies. As always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!